Firstly, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. What I wanted to run through today is a little bit of a spotlight in terms of Killara and the Upper North Shore. From what I've seen online and speaking to you every other week, I can see the team and yourself has had some great results in terms of the Upper North Shore sales. So I'd love to get to know, firstly, a little bit more about you and the MCY group, and then a little bit more in the North Shore.
Great, thank you. So we're an independent agency. Craig Marshall, myself, and James Yao. We came together about 2 years ago, but we've been operating in the area for 11, 12 years together. And I specialise in Killara, Chatswood, Roseville, Minfield, and then James does St Ives, and Craig does Pymble and Gordon. So we've all got our own teams, and we've got a few other agents with us as well.
Awesome. And what drew you to work in the North Shore?
I think the people most importantly. I feel like demographic, I suit the demographic in the area, being half Asian, half Australian sort of market. And I guess the values, a lot of people are young families with kids looking to send their kids to schools. And so I really like that sort of environment. I think I work well in that environment, so that's fine.
Yeah, awesome. And I know within the Upper North Shore, you've got schools like Knox and, a couple of PLC, a lot of world-renowned even schools, I would say. So I'd imagine the demographic is quite family-based, like you mentioned.
Yeah, family-based, people coming from out of the area who want to set up here, be here for the next 10, 15 years, get the family home, the dream home, 4 or 5 bedrooms, double-story, pool, yard, everything like that, get more space and be closer to schools. And a lot of people are working from home now, so they're choosing to get bigger properties, and Killara has some of the bigger land, bigger places in the area.
Yeah, great. And you mentioned dream home. Paint me a picture of what people are predominantly purchasing in Killara.
At the moment, we're seeing a few different trends. A lot of the buyers now just want something finished. So they want a 4 or 5 bedroom family home with a bedroom downstairs for in-laws, a place for an office, swimming pool, flat backyard, privacy. Doesn't have to be near the station anymore. That was a big criteria, but doesn't have to be anymore. But something just done. It could be brand new, or it could be the character homes that, early 1900 type homes.
Yeah, awesome. And I've seen a lot of properties in Killara myself. It's quite a luxurious suburb, as you could probably agree. There's tennis courts and, the luxury estates. You name it, we've kind of seen it. Have you got a favourite property that you've seen over the past few years?
I do like a couple of the houses in Wattle Street and Powell Street, and just a couple of those older style homes that are large estates, 2,000 square meters plus. They're quite nice.
Yeah, awesome.
They're all quite similar.
Right. Have you seen anything crazy? I've heard of like 20-car garages. I've heard of, putt-putt courses built into their houses. I've seen a couple of things.
I think mainly just the land size. Some of them have their own movie theatres, some have their own gyms, wine cellars. That's pretty normal with the bigger homes. Cigar rooms I've seen. Just very like 4-car garages, some with turning tables, so you drive in and advance. So yeah, a lot of interesting things.
Have you seen a shift in the homes that people are after, particularly with COVID? I know you mentioned people are looking for things that are more done. Have you seen a bigger increase into, home offices and special areas for, say, kids and parents to have little breakaways?
The general need for a family home is quite quite similar. 4 or 5 bedrooms. They definitely want extra living space. Home office is a big thing. Granny flats, or not even granny flats, but just a space where in-laws can stay with them is quite important. Like to have multiple generations in one place, and also renovated ones and properties that are brand new are more ideal. Anything that sort of needs work seems to be sitting on the market a little bit longer because people don't want to get involved with renovations right now, especially with the construction restrictions. Yeah.
Okay. And have you noticed a big shift in prices, say from the point that we're at, with the second lockdown for Sydney now compared to last year?
Absolutely. I think prices in some instances have gone up $1 million. In some instances a bit more than that. So homes that were typically 2.5, 2.6, 2.7 are now 3.5. You can get blocks of land up here that will sell anywhere from early to mid threes all the way up to like 5, just for the same block of land, similar block of land. Do you know what I mean? Depends on the street they're in.
Yeah, right. And for Killara at the moment, do you know what the median price is for a family home?
3.4.
3.4. Wow.
Yeah, for this month. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And conscious that most suburbs have tightly held pockets, I know within the upper North Shore, it's predominantly kind of east side, west side proximity to rail. Have you seen that shift at all? Or have you noticed that the elite pockets, so to speak, have remained elite and in high demand?
Absolutely. I think in the last 12 months, there's been more sales in the 8, 9, 10, 11 mark than I've ever seen before in Killara.
Wow. What do you think's driving that?
I think the buys, a lot of them are either buying homes for themselves or they're just investing. I met a lady last weekend looking at tennis court property. She had 3 houses in Killara, and it was just a way for her to land bank, you know what I mean? Just buy just for investment. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And so us being buyers agents at Henderson Advocacy, what we're hearing on the phone a lot at the moment is there seems to be a division with half the buyers seeming to want to wait it out like they did last year for COVID to end before they jump into the market. And then the other half going kind of gung-ho and wanting to get in before the crowds are going in. So I'd be curious to know, what are you seeing on the seller's side with regards to the COVID lockdowns? Is there still appetite to sell, or have you noticed people have kind of reeled it back and they're waiting it out?
Definitely the last week, we've started to see a lot of owners starting to get ready for spring. And a lot of people are noticing that because of the lack of stock, they might get a better price by going on the market now or in the next 1 to 2 months. Whereas pre the lockdown extension, everyone was just waiting to see what's going on. So nobody listed. But after it got announced that it was going to be another month, people just said, you know what, I've got to get on with life. And so a lot of owners started to inquire. We've listed quite a few this week. We've got a few more next week coming up. So a lot more activity on the way.
Yeah, awesome. So it sounds like there's no shortage of homes going up essentially for buyers.
In the next couple of weeks, there'll be a lot more available. And so, what we do is we just, once it's listed, we'll contact the buyer's agents, we'll contact our database and let them know first. Some buyers are ringing us every couple of days for a specific property they know it's coming up, just so they don't miss out. So It's a bit like that. It's dry at the moment, but there should be heaps coming in October, November.
Yeah, great. So it sounds like there's pent up demand on both the buyer's side and the seller side at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Right. And do you have any tips for buyers that are sitting on the fence at the moment and thinking, should we get in, should we not get in, anything for them to do while they're in that thought process of figuring out whether they want to jump in or wait it out a little bit more?
I just think if you're looking to make a move, get in touch with an agent or a buyer's agent, let yourself be known, and be active. I think right now, because there's so little stock, there's so much inquiry, it's hard to know who's the best buyer. And so you might be in a list of 100, 200 buyers that we're talking to. So to stand out from the crowd, I find the ones that are in touch with the agents the most, whether it's by themselves or through an agent, buyer's agent like yourself, that's the best way to sort of stay top of mind and get the first properties that come to market, get to know them first.
Yeah, great point. I think speed is definitely key, like you mentioned, and being quite active in the search, not kind of sitting on the fence and then looking every other week. Like you said, things are getting snapped up, so you've got to be quite quick.
Absolutely. And the other thing I noticed is the ones that are moving quickly. So they're getting their contract reviewed quickly. They're coming back when they say they're going to come back. So I worked with a buyer's agent before. He said to me, he looked at it on a Friday, said, I'll have an offer for you by Monday. And by Monday, we started the contract and it was done. And they offered no cooling off certificate, deposit was ready. They turned up when they said they were going to turn up, they signed when they said they were going to sign. So it just made everything a lot quicker. I did a deal for a block of land early last week, and the buyer basically we told him about the deal. He said he was going to go ahead on the weekend and said Monday he will sign, and he did. And so being a reliable buyer is quite important these days.
Yeah, I agree. And that's one of the key conversations that we have on the buyer side as well. Is everybody says, the best time to buy property, I guess, was yesterday. And it comes down to being mentally and financially ready to essentially pull the trigger and jump in when it's the right decision. And to your point, you want to have your conveyances on hand. You want to be finance ready. You want to know specifically what it is you're after. I found sometimes we speak to buyers and we've just got to get super clear on the brief and essentially what it is that they're after. They've got X amount of dollars to spend. They want X land size, this many rooms, this sort of school catchment area. Are you finding that's quite similar on your end as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the buyers that are out there, the ones that they look for, well, we know exactly what they want, and the ones that don't know what they want, they probably won't find it because there's not enough to compare at the moment. So they just got to be super clear, because once that property does list, there's not enough time for them to pick and choose and really buy time. Somebody else is going to jump in and take that property.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more. And one more thing I wanted to touch on, being an Upper North Shore local, I'd love to get your take on why it is that people love, Killara, for example. I know you mentioned it's quite a family vibe. It's close proximity to the city. It's quite lush and green. What do you think are some of the key kind of reel-in factors for Killara for buyers?
I think Killara is one of those old English established suburbs with beautiful tree-lined streets, large pieces of land, and a lot of people that live there tend to stay there, even if they downsize to an apartment later on. So I think just the community in general, everyone's got the same family values. Education's a big thing, so people like-minded are living in the same area. They're mostly business people or self-employed or in high positions, and they do appreciate education. And so Killara High School or the private schools on the train line, that's why people come to this beautiful part of the world.
Yeah, awesome. And I'd love to know, between the apartment and housing market, have you seen a shift between, either or, in terms of, have you found more people are looking to get into apartments given the high price points of the homes themselves?
So houses have gone nuts. It's just there's a high demand at the moment. Apartments, for high quality 3-bedroom, larger size apartments, I've seen a massive shift. So, to give an example, there was a property in Powell Street that was a ground floor apartment, sold for 1.6 in 2015, and it just traded earlier this year for 2.35. Wow. And that's just a 3-bedroom apartment. So it's just had a really massive shift. So apartments for downsizers are really sought after. In terms of quality, if it's just a 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom, they seem to be sitting at a lower range, or they haven't really moved that much. It's the ones that are for either a young family or a downsizer that are selling incredibly well for a 3-bedroom apartment.
Okay, awesome. So it sounds like there's something for everyone within the Upper North Shore and Killara, whether you want to downsize or upsize, you've kind of got it all in the area.
That's it.
Awesome. Well, do you have any, I guess, key takeaway points for us in terms of, market wrap-ups, even over the past few months? I know we touched on now the houses and apartment shift. Any kind of key takeaways for the listeners and watchers of the video?
I think what would be good is, if you are looking to move to the area, it'd be good to sort of reach out, let yourself be known, tell us what you really want, or get your buyer's agents to ring us. Come and have a look at a few properties. It's nothing better than going to see these properties in person. And once you see, you can develop a better or clearer picture of what sort of property we should be recommending to you. So the buyers, the viewers out there, if you're a bit more clear on what you want, we're able to find it for you.
Awesome. And with COVID now, I think a lot of people I've spoken to seem to think that we can't actually go through and do inspections, which isn't the case at all, is it? We can still organise private inspections and go through and have a one-on-one look at a property.
Absolutely. We can do one-on-one inspections, or if you can't come to the property for whatever reason, any of our agents are happy to do like a virtual inspection where we can FaceTime yourself or your agent and go through every aspect of the property. So there's always a solution for everything.
Yeah, awesome. Where there's a will, there's a way. Exactly. All right. Well, thank you so much, Will. I think that's a great summary of Killara and the Upper North Shore in terms of where we're at in the market at the moment, what buyers want, and some buyer top tips. Is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No, just anyone there who's looking to, do something Killara, reach out. I'd love to help.
Too easy. Thanks so much, Will.
See you later.